Hey guys, today we are playing a game we all know and love, Painkiller, yes, but the thing about it is that given the fact that it's Halloween, I had to play Painkiller. But we're playing Hell and Damnation because, well, it's easier to play Hell and Damnation than the original Painkiller because it's easy to record, and plus it has the Halloween map, which obviously we've got to play the Halloween map. Of course we do, it's Halloween. I mean, it doesn't make a bit of difference, we could play any of these levels if we wanted to, but you know, for the sake of it, we're gonna play the Halloween map, and yeah, we're going to celebrate Halloween the right way by playing the only game worth playing in Halloween, Painkiller. And yeah, as you can see, I've got my cards here. This is all about having fun. I'm gonna pick Nightmare, and yeah, we're gonna start off in the Halloween version of Cemetery. And there you go. There's Necro Giant. So basically, today's topic is sort of connected to this game a little bit. But the main thing that I wanted to talk about with this, involving this game, was mainly tied to the Painkiller reboot. Now, you all know that Painkiller got a reboot not long ago, and yeah, that reboot, yeah, it's kind of died on at launch. There's obviously some people that are still stubbornly playing it, probably because, well, they wasted their money and they just don't want to admit that they've wasted money on a shitty game. So they kind of just want to like take solace in the fact that, you know, they just want to believe that they're fans and like take solace in the delusion, should I say, that their game is actually good, you know, that they purchased. And the thing about it is, we all know the reality. It's not a good game. Yes. So yeah, you probably shouldn't be playing like the Painkiller reboot, but people did because, well, either they are complete casuals or they are idiots. I don't know. But one thing I can safely say is pretty much every Painkiller fan was against it, and rightfully so. The only people that bothered to play the game were normies. And it kind of ties in with the plot, well, with the topic of this video, as the topic is about gatekeeping. Yes, we're talking about that. Yeah, we're actually bringing that topic up. I know. It's a bit of a controversial topic, isn't it, gatekeeping? And I have mixed feelings on gatekeeping myself, because usually, in many cases, I'm often opposed to gatekeeping. But I think that to some degree, it's kind of a necessary thing. I think that gatekeeping, in some cases, is kind of stupid and dumb. But in cases like this, it's absolutely necessary because, well, if you don't gatekeep, then you'll have problems like this. And it's gatekeeping that essentially solves the issue that this reboot has, you know? With it being a game that is absolutely not Painkiller in the slightest. You know? I am a believer that there is a thing called fake fans. You know? I believe that fake fans exist. And I believe those fake fans are the ones playing the Painkiller reboot. The real fans are the ones playing this. And yeah, I'm playing this game in Halloween because of course I am. It's fucking Painkiller. Of course I'm playing the best games. Of course I am. Who wouldn't play the best games? You know? But yeah. He's dead. Is he gonna drop a soul? Are you going to drop a soul? Yeah, good. Should think so. Right, I finally got some armor. I should have picked that up, to be honest. I don't know what the hotkeys are for like cycling weapons in this. I don't know if they even have hotkeys in this game. But yeah, this is Hell and Damnation, not the original, not the best. Still better than freaking the reboot Painkiller. That's the silly thing. It's just like, isn't it funny how the remake Painkiller Hell and Damnation that got crapped on back in the day is still better than the freaking reboot because it's still Painkiller, guys. You know, at the end of the day. And yeah, we got this guy. Yep, he's just got staked. Yes. The stakes are high. That was the title of one of my Painkiller Let's Play videos, wasn't it? I think it was the freaking first boss called The Stakes are High because, well, you're shooting stakes at him the whole time. But yeah, the freaking scary go around, I guess. Gotta have something frightening, it's Halloween. And I don't know if you call this frightening or just either annoying or silly. Like, it's one of them. But yeah, I am of the opinion that we need to do this job. Because this is, like, kind of hard to hit these guys, isn't it? But yeah, gatekeeping is just such a weird situation because, like, I think there's people that take it too far. Like, there's people who gatekeep in a bad way. And there's two different types of gatekeeping. There's good gatekeeping and bad gatekeeping. And I think a lot of it has to do with just the nature of people. Like, just the nature of how people, like, approach the whole topic of gatekeeping and what really the whole... Do we not have the painkiller? I guess we don't. We have to use this. Like, what gatekeeping really means. Like, is it about being a real fan, or is it about being good at the game? And I think that's the thing, isn't it? The sort of gatekeeping I'm into is the gatekeeping which involves essentially being a fan of the game, a true fan, who has essentially played it, like, played the early game, and, you know, didn't, like, only play the Solus reboot, you know what I mean? Like, they played the early games, and they have that to base their opinion of. Those are the true fans. The fake fans, and this is the thing, and this is the problem that I want to bring up. We're in that era, aren't we, people? We're in the era of reboots. If you notice, like, in recent years, we're starting to see a lot less sequels. You know, we're starting to see more, like, reboots. If you notice that a lot of sequels, like, you don't really see numbered sequel games as often anymore. They still exist, yes. I mean, you know, like, you still have, like, East 10, you still have, like, Star Ocean 6, and all of that. Damn, that guy took a stake to the chest. You know, and you still have, like, I mean, you got Ninja Gaiden 4, that's just released recently. But if you notice, a lot of games are getting released as Onimusha Way of the Sword. You know? Not Onimusha 2 or 3, Onimusha Way of the Sword. You know? And of course, it's a reboot. It's not an actual... It's not tied to the Onimusha franchise like Dawn of Dreams was. You know? It's just a reboot of the franchise. And, yeah. Because of that, it's not really the same, you know? It's a completely different thing entirely. And really, they're just using the name to sell it, I guess. That's the thing. Is it weird? I've got 666 ammo, but the only thing I've got 666 ammo for is the freaking stake for some reason. I don't understand why. But, yeah, apparently that's the thing. I've got the freezer ammo, though. Yeah, Bag Baby's not really the best to, I can use the grenades, though. I can even stick grenade if I want to. Oh, got the little one. Mini guys. But yeah, like, the thing is that people who gatekeep like, a lot of gatekeeping tends to be like, oh yeah, you're not good at the game, you don't play the game on the highest difficulty, you're not a real fan, you know, and stuff like that. Like, I understand that there's a lot of different ways people can express themselves as fans. It's like, am I ever going to beat Valve Profile 2 on 50 crystals difficulty and beat the super boss on the 11th run? No, because I actually have a life, you know? No offense to those who have done it, but, you know, I have other things to do in my life. As much as I love Valve Profile 2, I'm not going to play it 50 times. I'm just not going to do that. But, you know, it's just like, does that make me not a real fan just simply because I didn't do that? No, you know? Because I've got other things in my life that I have to do as well. There's other games out there. Valve Profile 2 might be my favourite game of all time, but I'm not doing everything, you know? But people seem to think that they need to like, justify them being a real fan. Like, it's kind of weird, really, isn't it? Like, how people get so obsessive over fandoms and stuff, like, in so many different ways. Like, they'll play the game like to death. I mean, they'll do a lot of different things. I mean, it's like, for example, you have people like I Got Kings who play nothing but like Dragon Quest for like a lot of periods of time, and they played it to death, played it so many times, but they just keep playing it. You know, that's just one way of being like a fan of something, that, you know, you just keep doing things, and that's one thing where you can kind of consider yourself a fan. But other people take other ways to like try and prove that they're fans, you know, like being good at the game or anything like that. Like being like replaying the games and going back to them is fine and all, but when it turns to like a freaking ego contest, then it's just like, you know, obviously if you want to challenge yourself, that's fine, but when you expect other people to do so, it's kind of like not fine. When you start shaming people for picking the easiest difficulty, then that's not cool, you know? That's just being a shithead, and it's just being an idiot, really, because the fact of the matter is that people don't want to waste their time playing on a hard difficulty. The only people that are going to play on a high difficulty are going to be people that love the game enough to do it. But the thing is, some people, even then, don't want to dedicate that time because the game is, you know, too difficult. And that alone will be a huge problem for them, so they don't do it. But yes, I can see why a lot of people would assume that people that beat it on high difficulties would be big fans. I mean, you kind of have to be, but it's like there's other ways, and I think people need to understand that. Another thing is that there's people that will like collect merchandise of things that they love, and instead of just collecting the odd merch, they feel the need to collect everything and have one of everything to like complete the set of their like merch collection or whatever the hell, and you'll see that a lot, and it's just like, ultimately, you know, that's fine, but you see a lot of people that are clearly just posing, and they just kind of like, oh yeah, check out my collection, and it's just a complete set, and it's just like, hang on a minute, you have every single one, and you're just like, well, why does that matter now? You know, why does it matter if you have every single thing? And you'll see it all the time, like you'll see posts on Reddit of people sharing complete collections, and you're just like, well, you know, this would be more interesting if instead of being a complete collection, it was a partial collection. You know, it was a collection of a few things instead of everything. But, and the thing is, sometimes you do see it, but most of the time people are just like showing complete collections, and it's just kind of like, at that point it's kind of like they're just trying to prove something, you know, and it's just like, people are always trying to prove that they are fans of things, you know, and I suppose my way of doing so is talking about it to death. It's like, am I going to do everything in Painkiller? Have I 5-starred all the levels? No, you know, mainly because I haven't gone out of my way to look up all the secrets and stuff. It's just like, you know, I guess I could if I wanted to do that, but I just don't really feel that I want to do that. You know, I want to just enjoy the game, and that's the thing. We all have our ways of enjoying the game, but it's just like, am I not a fan because I don't do that? You know what I mean? That's the crazy thing. I think people tend to assume a lot, you know what I mean? We tend to make some assumptions sometimes. But, yeah, like, the thing is that, ultimately, this is not really the best map to fight these guys in. Freezing bitch. But yeah, the thing is that it's not really like a good thing to like gatekeep people for like skill and stuff, because, and that's the thing that I find with fighting games, a lot of the time, like you say, oh yeah, I like that fighting game, everybody just immediately has this assumption that you're good at it, and if you're not, you just feel like people shame you for it, and they're just like, really, you know, I expect you to be good, you know. And that's the thing, that's why I never claim to like fighting games and stuff, just simply because I'm bad at them and I don't want to be judged for it. I don't want people to think, oh yeah, you're good at fighting, oh yeah, you like fighting games, and then they're just like, oh yeah, fight me in it, and I'm like, and then you just own you, and you're just like, I don't want to play this, I suck at it, and I don't want to get better, I don't want to improve because I don't enjoy it, so can I just move on with my life? You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't want to waste the time engaging with people like that, you know? And that's why I don't claim to like them. And there's a lot of genres like that, but I just don't claim to like, just simply because I'm not good at them. but occasionally I dabble into them, and you know, like, but you'll never see me admit it, and a lot of it's because of that whole gatekeeping culture. Because it happened to me when I played Smash Bros. Melee, well, Smash Bros. Brawl at one point. When I played Smash Bros. Brawl at one point, like, it was a point where the game was like, oh yeah, I met some people on this, some guys, I think it was called Kolash, it was like this MLG sort of thing, yeah, and it was kind of like this site called Kolash, and it was full of fucking tryhards, and it was like, these people are fucking dickheads. Like, somebody just wanted to play a game with me, and the thing is, it wasn't to play the game. The reason why he wanted to play a game with me, and he said it in a threatening thing, he was just like, right, new guy, you know, play with me now. I'm like, okay, right, whatever, I'll play a match with you. And then eventually I decided to turn on items, and the guy fucking suicided afterwards and flipped out because I turned items on. Ever since then, I haven't touched the fighting game since, because that guy has ruined fighting games for me because he thinks that they are serious business. That and input complexity, and that's why I tend not to play those games, you know? It's off-putting when you have people like that, and that is a form of gatekeeping, because it's like saying you can't play this way, you have to play the way that the tournament rules say you have to play. It's like, fuck that bullshit, man. You know, let me play how I want. You know, if you don't want to do that, then screw you. And it turned out they ended up being shitheads anyways. And I ended up getting banned from it at one point. I don't know, people just took something I said defensively and banned me, but it's just like, you know, at the end of the day, I just don't give a fuck. Like, I never really wanted to engage with that lot anyways. They ultimately wanted me to join anyways. I don't know why, but they did. And it's just like, it was just kind of bullshit. Like, the whole thing was just BS. And it's just like, yeah, I just don't like to be involved with fighting game fans. You know? I don't want to be part of the fandom, I just want to be a silent fighting game fan. Just simply, well, I don't really call myself a fan, but mild enjoyer, I guess. Because I do kind of mildly enjoy them, even though a lot of them have input complexity bullshit. I mean, the idea of beating up people is still fun at the end of the day. But, you know, it's like, I'd rather play beat 'em up because it's more straightforward and simple and doesn't have the input complexity, and, well, some of them do, but, you know, not on the same level, and it's not as, you don't have to spend hours of your life practicing just to be able to, like, beat, like, people online and, you know, all that lot. You don't have to worry about that much, and just to play at a competent level, you know, you can just, like, instantly just go into it, and it's, like, a more personal thing. And that's the thing about fighting games, you know, a lot of them nowadays, they focus on the online, and it's like, I remember saying to people, like, at one point, it's like fighting games should add more single-player content, and then people had a go at me, and fuck no, like, they shouldn't add single-player content, because that will get all the casuals in, we don't want the casuals in. Like, dude, without the casuals, the games won't sell. And they're just like, we don't care, because those people won't support the game anyway, once they've left, and then eventually, like, the online will die eventually anyway, so it's just going to be us that keep it alive. So it's basically, they don't like the casuals just simply because they don't support the game in the long run. And yeah, they're just very petty about it. It's just kind of sad, really, but that's just kind of the way it is. People really don't like casuals that are like fighting game fans for some reason. They really don't. And it's kind of a shame, really. I just don't get it. Like, I understand that there's a lot of games that get dumbed down for casuals, like Painkiller Reboot. But in the case of fighting games, they really should be adding more single-player content. They used to have it. Like, you look at games like Soul Calibur 3 with Chronicles of the Sword. What happened to that? You know? You look at games like freaking Mortal Kombat Deception, which had the freaking Conquest mode and, like, all chess combat and all these fun modes. And, you know, you look at all those games and stuff, and it's just like, you know, why would you get rid of all this, you know? Why would you remove all of that, you know? Why would you just streamline it to just being, like, online multiplayer and arcade mode? It's like the whole, it's almost as if you're just trying to, like, pretend that the game is just online only, you know? It's like, aren't you guys forgetting that people actually, you know, want to play single-player modes in fighting games? because it seems that people are against it and it's like looked down on for some reason. I just don't understand why. Like, I never will understand why. Like, but yeah, fighting game fans have this weird tendency, you know, and it's really awkward.
Somebody forgot
But
which way the
yeah,
barrel
like,
goes.
that's the thing that kind of bothers me about fighting games in general. So yeah, I mean, you've got a lot of bullshit to deal with, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that a lot of that has to do with the fact that the fighting game community are basically bastards. But that's the thing, like, I shouldn't have to feel ashamed for liking fighting games. I shouldn't have to feel ashamed, but I am, and this is like, people are against single players just simply because they just don't want casuals in. They are anti-casual. It really is that simple. Where are all the enemies? Look. There's gotta be something. There we go, that's how we do it. But yeah. Oh, the giant pumpkins. The giant ones. Oh, I know what these do. These are like flamethrower things. So we basically go over here. But yeah, like, the thing is that that's the wrong kind of gatekeeping, like saying, oh yeah, we should. I remember one time someone, like, I mentioned, oh yeah, like, you know, fighting games, like, I mentioned the whole single player thing. It's like, oh yeah, like, what about the single player stuff in the fighting games? And someone responded to me saying, nobody plays fighting games for single player. People play fighting games for multiplayer. Nobody plays for the single player. It's just like, well, this you might as well make more, like, fighting games and games like a service game, like games as service. You know, a live service, because, well, you might as well at this point, because it seems that's what the fighting game community want. It seems they want games to be a live service. It's kind of weird, you know? And if they start bitching about it, well, they know who to blame, because if a fighting game ever goes live service, that's basically who they should be blaming. They should be blaming themselves, because that seems to be what they want. They want it to be always online. They want it to be all online, and that's it. But it's just like, you know, what about actually having fun with the intellectual property, you know, instead of making it super serious all the time? Why does everything have to be so fucking serious? That's the thing I hate about esports, you know? It doesn't have to be so serious, you know? But it is, because people take it so seriously, because people look at it as a career, you know? And these competitive fans, it's just like, I don't know, like, I just don't like it. I don't like the whole aspect of, like, making the game super competitive. Like, I just don't like that. Like, because it just takes the fun factor away, and it just makes the game super serious, and just makes it, like, more annoying than fun. It's like, I don't want that. I want it to be fun, not annoying, you know? And that's the problem, you know? So, yeah, like, I'm kind of getting fed up of a lot of gatekeeping like that, and, you know, I'm kind of getting fed up of, like, people, like, who, like, I don't know, I think the worst kind of gatekeepers are, like, manga gatekeepers, those people who just keep telling people to read the manga, and, like, I mean, you could argue that I'm a normie if you want. I mean, and obviously I'm a normie, but that's the thing, it's just like, manga is not easy to consume. Anime is, so I shouldn't have to read manga to be a fan of anything, you know? Just like, I don't understand why I can't just, like, watch the Berserk anime and consider myself a fan of Berserk. I just don't get that. Why is that looked down on? Why can't I just play the Berserk game and be a fan of Berserk, you know what I mean? That's the sort of gatekeeping that I just don't understand, because you can argue that it's better or worse, but it's still based on the actual source material, you know? It's still based on Berserk, you know? It's still Berserk at its core. It's just it's just kind of like a different, like, sort of different, like, it's basically the same thing, but portrayed differently, and Obviously, there might be a few little differences, but you know, that sort of gatekeeping is also annoying. Like the manga gatekeepers, and also the people who gatekeep playing games in a specific order, claiming that you need to play the Trails series in order. Like you have to play Legend of Heroes: Trails in the Sky in order, you know, or you basically like not a real fan. Like, oh, you started with Cold Steel, you're not a real fan. You should have started with Legend of Heroes: Trails in the Sky. Well, here's my take on that. None of you Trails fanboys have ever played the first Legend of Heroes game, which was like the Dragon Slayer game on PC Engine. So shut the fuck up, you know. That's my take on that, you know. All these people that say, oh, you need to start with the first game or you're not a real fan, and then get pissed off at you for not playing the first game. It's like, bitch, go play fucking, like, seriously, go play fucking, like, I forgot what this is. Well, I think we'll find out, won't we? You know, go play freaking, like, all the other Legend of Heroes games that you haven't played, like the Gargav trilogy, you know? The Gargav game. You know, go play them. But yeah, this is a really weird level, is this one. I don't get it. Why are we damn, this guy can take some mistakes. It's unbelievable. What the fuck? I don't know, man. You got the fucking Pope here. What the fuck? What the fuck even is this, man? But yeah. This is a weird fucking level, man. What? Right. What if we worship Pope? I don't get it. What are we doing here? This is really weird, this level, man. It's just like, which do you believe in? Do you believe in the Pope? Or do you believe in this motherfucker? Like, I don't get it. What are we actually doing? Can we actually get to killing people? Like, what is this level, man? Ah, there we go. Right, okay. So, there's a civil war going on between the demons. Civil war. We've started a war. Damn, this is some crazy shit right here, boys. They'd be fighting the war. Many wars. Yeah, I guess we're gonna... But yeah, like... Another thing is, like, all the Warcraft 3 gatekeepers who gatekeep people all the time say, oh, noobs can't play this game, you know. Like, Warcraft 3 is full of gatekeepers. It's one of the most gatekeeping games out there. Like, I play with some people, like, people just will not fucking entertain the idea of playing with new people at all. They just won't. They won't entertain the idea of, like, trying to help new people either. They just don't want new people around. Like, that's another game where gatekeeping is really annoying. Because if you're really bad at Warcraft 3, oh boy, will you know it. People will really... And it's not your enemies that will trash talk you, it's your own teammates. And they'll basically just, like constantly belittle you and constantly do everything they can to make sure that they're not playing with you. They'll just... A lot of players will just kick you in games that they can, and if you're playing ladder where they can't kick you, they're going to give you some lip. They'll probably threaten your family, and yeah, they'll get really pissed off at you. But yeah, like in like a lobby match, then yeah, they'll just down you or kick you and that lot because I mean, it's like Dota, for example. That's another gatekeeping game. There's a lot of games that have really gatekeeping communities that are really annoying. And a lot of it's the skill-based gatekeeping that's annoying, you know? And the skill-based gatekeeping is just really freaking obnoxious, and I fucking hate it. But, yeah, like, the gatekeeping where you're like... Oh shit, the kind of gatekeeping where you're like... Freaking... Where you're kind of like... ridiculed for being bad at the game is really annoying. Like, I hate that kind of gatekeeping. But the kind of gatekeeping where you're kind of like talking about how people, like, you're constantly like, the kind of gatekeeping where you're demonizing people for playing a reboot, like a fucking shitty reboot of a game that is basically just defiling the fucking game. That's good gatekeeping. We need more of that, you know? And that's the thing, you know? I'm kind of fed up of seeing all the bullshit gatekeeping, but we need to see gatekeeping of, like, certain games, particularly games that have reboots. Like, if your game has a reboot, gatekeep the shit out of your fucking franchise to all these people who purchased the reboot and didn't play the original games or have no intention to. Those are not real fans, you know? You are able to tell them that they are not real fans, because they aren't. Because they're not playing the game, they're not playing the real game, they're playing a fake game that makes, you know, that isn't, like, that is kind of like catered to the casual market, that isn't catered to actual fans, you know? Those are not the real fans, and that's one way I will say gatekeeping should be allowed. All these Solus reboots are for normies, and they are basically just shit anyway. I don't even know why normies even bother with them, because, you know, it's nothing like the actual games, and it's just like everything they know anyways. It's basically, they might as well just be playing like Killing Floor in that game, you know, or in like Valkyrie Elysium's case, just playing Ninja Gaiden, you know? You know, and just play those games, because it's the same fucking shit, you know? If you want to play a game like that, then, you know, you might as well just play them, because those games exist, you know, for you guys. So go play those instead. You know, don't waste time playing games that, you know, aren't freaking the games you want. You know, unless you're gonna play the actual game, don't waste time playing all these Solus reboots. You know, do your research on games as well. You know, and figure out what these games actually are. You know, if they claim like they're based on another game, or they claim to be from another series, you know, then don't, and yet they're not really like another series, then don't play it, you know? It's really that simple. But people seem to not get that fact. People just always fall for the same bullshit, and it's just like, you wonder why nothing changes in this industry, because people are so fucking dumb. So, like, the average gaming consumer is just so obnoxious and fucking dumb, man. That's the reason why a lot of people see me as a fucking internet, like, heel on the internet. Like, I might as well be considered a heel on the internet, because people don't like me. Like, nobody's gonna like the opinion of the guy who says the fucking truth, are they? Nobody likes the people that actually speak the truth. People like people that lie in a good way and make positive lies, you know, and say, oh yes, everything's all sunshine and rainbow. People like those guys, you know? Those guys are very well loved. But the guys who tell the truth, everybody hates them. You know, people like to be deluded. They like to be deluded and stupid. I suppose it's a case of ignorance is bliss, you could argue, but it's just like, still, you know, like, people should probably, like, I think it's a case of respect, you know? People should respect the opinions of those who actually were fans of the original game. Like, if a game desecrates, like, an original game, like, the original source material of the game, then, yeah, you should probably gatekeep that. If it's basically just using, like, the original, if it has nothing to do with the original game whatsoever, and it's just basically there to desecrate it, you know, then yes, you should probably, those should be gatekept, because the people that support that shit, those aren't real fans, those are fake fans, those are posers. Those are the same people that will buy all the merch from games, and will buy everything just simply because they are, like, fake fans, you know? The same people that buy like all the merch, every merch, because they have to have everything. You know, they buy every game as well because they have to have every game. Even if it's shit, they have to have every Painkiller game, including the reboot. You know, and it's just like, yeah, maybe you should probably only get the ones that are good. But that's not the way these people think. They want validation, and that's what most people play games for nowadays. For validation. And it's kind of sad. They just want to be seen as cool, like in with the cool crowd, and it's like, no, you're not special because you play the fucking reboot, you know? But that's how people see it. It's just so annoying, man. And you've obviously got freaking streamer culture, which has made things worse because now people just buy these fucking games and like, well, people will just buy these games because streamers played them, and streamers will get them for free by the publisher. So, you know, the cycle just goes on and on and on, and you know, these freaking people will hype the game up all the time, and it's just like, no, you know, it's like, I'm not, you know, there's totally not some, like, corruption there, you know, like, there's totally not some, like influence from influencers, you know, like from publishers. Of course they're fucking influencers, they've got things for free. And they're gonna keep the people that gave them stuff for free happy by praising them. You know, that's kind of how it is, you know? Even these YouTube content creators, they're still the same. I already mentioned it on my Hot Wheels video, you already know. But the thing is, that's one of the reasons why this happens. But the thing is that, ultimately, no matter what, like, these reboots are happening, you know? And let's go back to what I was talking about earlier. Because I was talking about a topic earlier on that was kind of like relevant to all of this. And that topic was about sequels. The death of the sequel. You know? I know that there's still sequels out there, you know, and we've talked about them already with Ninja Gaiden, but it's just like, publishers don't like making sequels anymore like they used to. It's out of fashion. Sequels are out of fashion. It's all about the reboots now. And it's kind of sad. It's like all these games that have been abandoned by publishers for so long, you know, we're in that era where they're bringing them all back, but there's a catch, you know? And that's the thing, it's just like they won't give us what we want, but they will ruin franchises that we love. And that's the thing that I hate about modern gaming so much. It's just like, you know, you guys chose to abandon this franchise for years, and the moment you bring it back, you make it a fucking, it's now a fucking joke, you know, you've ruined it. It's just like, maybe if you didn't fucking abandon the series for so long, this wouldn't be an issue, but that's the thing. These game developers, they just don't give a shit. Oh, I can't climb up that in this game. It's fucking weird, but usually you can climb up this. I don't know if you can actually get up the ice cream in this. Let's have a look. What can you do in Hell and Damnation? Oh, you can get up the ice cream. Let's see if we can actually do this. In the original Painkiller, this is so much easier to do, but in this, well, yeah, it's kind of difficult. I don't know. It's fucking weird, man. But, yeah, we're going to... there's lots of different things here. Right, let's just go through... You're going to open up? Come on, I want to get into Looney Park. Or is this... when we get into more... yeah, we're getting more enemies from. We've changed this level. Because of course they fucking have. You know, here. You know? Fire. You know? Boom, alive. Yeah. The music's also... I hope the music isn't copyrighted, man. I hope it isn't. Because it's like... the music is also different. It's not the same music from the original. But yeah, you can do shit like that. That's why I love Painkiller. Yeah, the good old Electro Driver. Shurikens and my thing. Oh, I can actually swap weapons now. Finally. I'm gonna fucking shoot a Painkiller at your asshole. Right. Yeah, the Painkiller in this game is really OP. It's really OP. Really stupidly good. So yeah. The thing is, though, that we need to start seeing sequels, proper sequels of games, but we won't. It's like, I think it's worse now. You know, you used to be able to have that. You used to have that like, not where you could speculate and think, oh yeah, wouldn't it be cool if the next game in the franchise was this? And you know, we all had those moments where we could speculate what the sequel's going to be. You know. Like, what's Valve Profile 3 going to be like, you know? I've always had my speculations and, like, dreams of what Valve Profile 3 would be, you know, and all that shit. You know, like, oh yeah, we're going to have, like, let's make, like, character creation and shit. Like, why not at this point? Like, where you create your own Einherjar and stuff, and, like, you can kind of, like, do battles on Asgard as well as Midgard, and, like, you know, like, there's so many things you could do with it. Like, I came up with some crazy ideas of like trying, like combining the Last Remnant into Valve Profile. I think that would have been interesting. Like, that was my interesting idea. You know, let's combine the Last Remnant with Valve Profile. Let's see how that goes. And yeah, so that's kind of how it went. Watch out for the deadly spikes of doom down there. I don't think you can like see it right now, but yeah, spike pit under there. If you jump, if you climb up the stairs and you miss the jump, you die. Yep, that's Gloomy Pathway. So yeah, the that kind of gatekeeping is very important. We need to have gatekeeping like that. We need to stop celebrating all these reboots and hyping them up and getting hopeful for them, because they're going to be shit. The moment that we see the words reboot, we should just avoid. I think we should just avoid reboots entirely. I don't think reboots in general are ever going to be good. They're never going to be good, and they're always going to be bad. So it's kind of like a red flag now, you know? Like, reboots are literally like the ultimate red flag, because it's just like, it's not going to be good if it's a reboot. It's just not. And that's the thing that's kind of annoying. Like, these reboots unfortunately exist. Even though we don't want them, you know? We don't want to play these freaking shitty reboots, but they keep making them, and it's just like, it's getting on my nerves, man. Why do we have to deal with all these freaking bullshit reboots? I just don't get it. But this is the era now. This is what we're in now. It's like we're no longer in the era of, like, making sequels. You know, we're in the era of making reboots, and I hate it so much. It's just like, you know, I miss sequels, you know, that, like, proper sequels that continue things on. I think they sometimes, like, a lot of people gush over originals and stuff, you know. I mean, you could argue that Painkiller, the original Painkiller, is kind of like the best one, yeah, but it's like, I usually have a fondness for sequels. Sequels are the ones that tend to get forgotten. I find that the 2000s especially is an era that a lot of people just tend to, like, overlook when it comes to franchises in general. A lot of people look at the 90s, they look back at the 90s very fondly and stuff. And, you know, they look back at, like, the early 90s, late 90s and all that lot. There's a lot of nostalgia for the 90s, a lot of people go mental for them. You know, and, like, the first games in the franchise and stuff. Or at least the first game that released in America. Like, if it released in the 90s, then, you know, people are going to gush about it. But if it released in the 2000s, people have forgotten about it, you know? Have you noticed that? You know? People still talk about games from the 90s, but they don't talk about games from the 2000s. It's weird. But the 2000s was that weird time when we got unique and different and interesting games. You know, the 2000s was the time where we got games like Pokemon Colosseum, where we got games like freaking, obviously, Painkiller. But Painkiller started in the 2000s, so, you know, like, I'm talking about from franchises that have been, like, around for a bit, you know, that started in like the 90s or the 80s even, and you look at what they are in the 2000s. You have Mario Sunshine, like, what a game that was. That was a great idea. Like let's have Mario on a beach and have like have like a water thing that you control. Like, that's a really cool idea, you know, and it keeps things fresh, and that's what they did in the 2000s. So a lot of games like that. I mean, you had Tony Hawk's Underground. Let's make Tony Hawk but edgier. I mean, a lot of it was kind of related to Edge, to be honest, but, you know, like, whether you like Edge or not, it did add more flavour to like games, you know, like even Final Fight Streetwise, for as much crap as people give it, and you know, as much as it has issues, like the idea of it was really cool, like it really was. Yeah, the roly-poly ball will do. Always manages to crack me up with that. Yeah, there's a lot of creatures that you fight here, like, it's funny how like Hell and Damnation has a lot of creature enemies, but in Battle Out of Hell there's only a few. But yeah, creatures are immune to being frozen. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird how they throw so many at you in like Hell and Damnation, but like in the original they were just kind of like few and far between, or rare things to deal with. And they're usually a pain on the ass because there's only like one set of creatures in Battle Out of Hell, what in the whole original game, which actually can be attacked directly. Most of them require you to do something specific, like kill certain enemies around them in order to make them vulnerable, which is kind of annoying. And yeah, one of the roller coasters fallen off because of course it has. And yeah, the thing about it is that like we need to have sequels back like that. We need to have those games that did something a little different. Those are the games that I kind of like the best, and I have a lot of fondness for. The games that tried something new, tried something different. I mean, they're not always the best games, but I still have a fondness for them nonetheless, you know? The GameCube was full of games like that, you know? I mean, Pokemon Colosseum being one of them. Star Fox Assault tried to, like, add, like, on-foot gunplay, you know what I mean, and all that lot. Notice how they made, when they made, like, Star Fox Zero, it was basically just the same shit again. Like, that's the thing, people are obsessed with the same shit. People are so nostalgic for stuff that they're just obsessed with seeing the same shit again. Like, oh yeah, let's just do Valve Profile 1 again, you know? I mean, in a way, that's kind of what Elysium's story was. It's just a retelling of Valve Profile 1 just done poorly. That's basically what it is, you know? It's like, people are obsessed, like, oh yeah, let's go back to, like, let's remake Star Ocean 2 instead of, like, I don't know, making another Star Ocean game, you know? Let's do all this bullshit that nobody really wants. Let's bring back the old way, you know? Like with Pokemon Down and Pearl release, it's just like, oh yeah, let's just go back to the old way. It's just like, no. Why should we go back to the old way? What's the point? You know? Like, the old way is boring. It's past it. Like, let's explore something new. Something fresh, new ideas. I'm more of an advocate for new ideas than I am for like rehashing the same shit over and over again. Even if it is like a series I love, but I think with Painkiller though, it's kind of like the opposite. I kind of want Painkiller to stay the same because the formula is just that good. And the thing is that that's one of the things that annoys me about the new one. Like, the thing about Painkiller is it's a perfected formula. You can change things about it. I mean, Overdose changed like a lot of the tone and the environments, for example. That's a good change. But when you change the mechanics of the game so drastically, like, and the thing is, if you change the mechanics of the game at all with Painkiller, it's always going to be a drastic change. It's the mechanics that make it what it is, you know? But you can change certain things about it, like change like the setting. I mean, Overdose has a lot of quirky levels that are a little bit different from like the usual. It's much more light-hearted and comedic. You know, even if it is, it's more like this level. This level is basically what you would expect. I mean, this level's in Overdose, you know? This level is what you would expect from a Painkiller Overdose game. It's like, it's silly, it's dumb, you know? But it was a Battle Out of Hell level originally. But it is in Overdose as well. The thing is, though, that... Oh, and I have to point this out as well. This is something that is really annoying to me. If you go in here to the acid bath, it's water. There's no acid. You know, I'm literally walking in it. Like, there's no acid at all. They just got rid of the acid in the acid bath, which is lame. Like, why? Just the water. It's just the bath now. The bath. You know, what the fuck? Like, why? You know? That's one of the things that, you know, Hell and Damnation... Like, that's the thing. Like, Hell and Damnation could have definitely done a better job in some ways, but, like, why remove the acid from there? Why? Like, I just don't get it. What was the point of that? You know? Now, I understand removing that thing, because that thing used to get on my nerves, you know. But it seems that they've changed it because they've made a bounce pad here to get up there, you know, to get a secret. I don't know if you can actually get outside the map in this game by jumping across that gap. I don't want to risk it right now, but I might actually grab a checkpoint and try it. I know you can in the original. I know, they patched it. Yeah, you can't go out there in this one. But in the original, you can actually do it. How many still wants to try, though, you know? I'm one of those people that I'm going to give it another go. Come on, guys. Let's give it another go. Nah, it's like they put a wall there. You can't go past that. What a shame. Because it was cool to go outside the map in this level in the original. You can't do it in this version, though, unfortunately. So, yeah. We might as well finish the level now. Yeah, you gotta try these things, guys. You never know. And, yeah, we've got another secret up here. Oh, I can't even get into it. Yeah, they changed the secrets around. Like, it's on a different ice cream cone this time. There are a few fixes, like, obviously that secret up there is a lot easier to get. I can't seem to get on it. The more I stand on it, I just slip off, which is weird, man. Maybe if I go on the top, if I go higher up, I might be able to... No, I can't do it. I just slip off immediately. That's really annoying. You know, I know it's like I've got the super health already, but it's like, you know, for the sake of getting the secret, finding it, it's like, you know... It's like, oh... There's gotta be a way of getting that, but I'm not gonna bother right now, you know. Like, there's definitely some things that we could do if we go on here, because we can get underneath this. It's not as easy to like platform in this game as it is in like the original. Like, they definitely made it a lot harder to do it. You can't fiddle your way through levels like through areas like you could in the original. Yeah, they definitely made Hell Damnation harder. They definitely did. Like, overall, it's just a harder game. It's a harder version of Painkiller. Like, if you want to play a harder version of Painkiller, then yeah, it's good for that, I guess, because in certain ways it is. There we go, we got it. God, that was not easy to do, to be perfectly honest with you. It was not easy at all. But yeah, you got this whole area here, and yeah, they boxed this off. Like, there's a wall here. You can't actually go past that. Yeah, they've deliberately designed it that way, so you can't really... What secrets? Is there any more secrets? There's another one, yeah. Where's that other secret then? I mean, clearly, like, I don't know all the secrets in Hell Damnation. I know the secrets in the original, right, but not in Hell Damnation. But, yeah, like... I don't know what I just did by going in there, though. Did I open something up? I don't know. Always been curious what's inside the House of Pain. I know that in Left 4 Dead 2 there's a custom map where you actually get to go inside, which is kind of interesting. I thought it was really cool. Like, but obviously you can't really do that in this version of Looney Park, which is a bit of a shame. Let's see if we can go through this way over here. I don't know. But at this point it's just like, there's so many different things, like, I don't know, like, you got electro driver ammo here and like the electric chair area here. Like, this is such a fun level to explore. Like, in terms of the visual aspect, I do like the little touches that they made on this level. It's just that, why did they remove the acid from the acid bath? Like, why? Like, what the fuck? Like, they fucking made a really stupid decision with that, but yeah. Yeah, I can't really find any more secrets around here. I know I'm wasting you guys' time, but, you know, I'm just curious why this other secret could be. I'm kind of... Oh, hang on a minute. What is that? What did I just jump onto? Aha! Secret area. Yes. We found all the secrets, boys. All the secrets in Looney Park here in the new one. Yeah. And I didn't use a guide either. Yep. Didn't use a guide. I like the view from up here. Nice view. You get to see a lot of stuff. This is a good place for a screenshot, isn't it, guys? You know, you got the view of the castle over there. Bit of the Ferris wheel, I think, over there. You know, you got Helter Skelter. The roller coaster ride starts there. Acid Bath, which is way bigger than it has any right being. Like, obviously House of Pain, Sick Burger. Yeah, you got nice vantage point here. Very nice. In the games, I think there's a freak up there. That's kind of like, I think he's invincible. You can't kill him. But yeah, that's kind of interesting. You know, they can actually get up there that easily by doing that. And there's a secret up there. But yeah, we're here to do one thing, and that is to kill demons. So we're going to do that. Because it's Halloween, boys, we're here to kill demons and chew bubblegum, and we're all out of bubblegum, you know. That's what this is all about. And I love how it switches us straight to like the rockets immediately, because it knows. It just knows. Right, let's start killing things. The one thing I do like about this game, though, is I don't have to deal with the tarot card condition that I had to deal with on the original. And possess, I don't do that shit. I'm just not. I don't need the tarot card. I'm just gonna shoot things. It's fun. That's what I'm doing. And that's one of the things I like about this version. You don't have to deal with the tarot card condition for the roller coaster ride, so you can just kill everyone. Which is good, you know? That's one of the good things about like this version of Looney Park. So yeah, you can kill all the people going on, or you could just wait and destroy them another way. But yeah, like it's still fun as hell animation. You know, it still is. You know, it's still a fun game. It's just, you know, it has a few issues, but you know, it's still fun to play. It's not like the Painkiller reboot, which is a desecration to Painkiller, which is nothing like it. You know, that's the thing. It's just like, at least this game is still trying its best to be a homage to Painkiller. You know, it is still Painkiller at its core. I mean, technically it's a sequel, not a remake, because it actually continues the story, but it remade all the levels, you know? So it seems more of a remake of all the levels, but it's actually a sequel narratively. It's a continuation narratively, because it actually takes place after Recurring Evil, believe it or not, it does. Yes, Recurring Evil and all that lot is canon. It is. And Overdose is canon as well, because, you know, well, you'll find out if you beat the game, but yeah, like, Overdose is also canon. Like, all those games that were fan-made mods and then they charged for them, yeah, they're all canon. They're all canon for Painkiller Law, but the reboot isn't, thankfully. God, could you imagine if it was? That would be shit, man. I think the ending of this game is kind of what leaves me kind of a bit, like, weirded out. It's just like, we'll never see a continuation to it, but it's just kind of weird how it ends. And it's like, oh yeah, like, it would be pretty cool if we actually got a continuation of that, you know? And it's just like, it won't happen, unfortunately. So, yeah, we just have to put up with the fact that that will never be a thing. But at least we can enjoy Looney Park again. I mean, that's always fun, isn't it? Yeah. Good old Looney Park, you can never go wrong with it. Shooting down all these guys. And, yeah. Is it me, or does the ride feel longer in this game? It definitely feels a little longer. You can walk down all these areas and like, but yeah. Could you imagine if this tarot card condition for this stage was the same one as Underworld in the original? Like, that would be kind of interesting. Kill everyone on the roller coaster ride. kill every single enemy instead of like kill only 88. That would be really interesting, to be honest. But yeah, like I think they've definitely extended it a little bit. I do think they have, but yeah. I think we're nearly done now. Yep, we're nearly done. Or maybe they haven't extended it. I don't know. Maybe it just feels longer. I don't know. Oh, we've unlocked a turret card apparently. Okay. I didn't know we unlocked like Fury. Delivered 2 times more damage. Like Fury isn't really that great. Like Rage is better. So why would you use it? Ah yeah, kill 3 monsters in a row using the Sword Blade. Wow, that was easy. There's 2 cards you can get from this level. Possess 25 enemies using the Soul Catcher. I think I'm gonna do that. But anyways, that's the end of this video, guys. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.